112,000 euros. That's what they're saving.
They come back to us and are scared.
We've actually made a list of over 10 different developers.
And it was actually delayed by 1 year.
Yeah. We're going to actually mention them by name and their score. Right, guys, welcome back to the High Homes channel. And Kim, welcome back.
Kian.
Welcome
Good
back.
to be here.
Live from High Homes headquarters.
Yeah, once again.
Kim, I wanted to do this video just as a bit of an intro to the people which are watching this right now. We come across a lot of clients on the ground that search for property in our case with us in new construction.
Yeah.
And it's very difficult to understand the product that different developers bring to market, and then when they choose a property, they might sort of check the reviews, and they'll see some good reviews, some bad reviews, and for Northern Europeans, they get quite shocked when they see Spanish developer reviews. So we're going to break it down.
Let's do it, Kim.
The truth is that you have a lot of reviews that offer value, also the good ones, they offer value, right? Real experiences, and we're like super pro reviewing. We ask pretty much everyone that buys with us.
Absolutely.
How many clients have you sent?
I don't know.
Actually, we even do our client talks. And
Absolutely. Yeah, and you find that our clients they're excited to actually do a review, having known about us before, seeing us in person, seeing us at the office, especially if they sort of like, they know people before we even introduce them. So for us, obviously, client reviews are really so important part of the job.
Both the positive and the negative, and like I pay attention to both. Like the positives make me very proud of what we're building, but also the negatives are what you reflect on and go, okay, what can we improve?
Absolutely.
And the same applies to developers.
Yeah, indeed it does. Yeah, and obviously it is something that perhaps we are not always aware of, because we're obviously dealing with different developers on a daily basis. And we have our own perhaps opinions of what a developer's going to be like, but then you've got your clients that are all happy and excited, and then they might say, hey, let's have a little bit further, and sometimes they come back to us and are scared, and we then have to calm them down and just sort of like explain some of the problems that they might see that we don't. Living in Spain, it's just in Spain the customer reviews are not quite as important as in other parts of the world.
Absolutely. So we're going to dive into that, and also like for you guys to know, we've actually made a list of over 10 different developers. We're going to name them and talk about their reviews online. We're going to actually mention them by name and their score, and we're going to give our view on it, because it doesn't always reflect reality.
True.
And in both cases, in the good and the bad.
Yeah, indeed.
But let's start, maybe Kim, breaking down the kind of, complaints that developers get based on our experience.
Yeah, I'd say that we'll start with maybe delays in the delivery date.
Okay.
Obviously, you've got your contract, and they have to deliver by that certain point. But it's natural that a client has in their mind, okay, this is when I'm going to be taking possession of my second home, maybe relocating, and so those delivery dates are really, really important for them.
Totally.
And obviously, you get some developers that out of the blue. It's happened to us a little while ago. Happened to us on one, and it was actually delayed by 1 year. And so that's obviously a shock to us. But as a client, my goodness, it must be even. Is there something wrong?
Totally.
And you're talking about the big company, and for them, it might be something technical. But they're not obviously going to, share perhaps the reason for that.
Actually, that's a great tip. So there's a pro tip for buyers, navigating Costa del Sol or Spain, is there's a period. So one thing is what the sort of office will tell you when you buy the property. Yeah. Then when you look into the contracts, there's a term which we call grace period. So if they tell you that your property is going to be handed over, in 6 months, there's also, after that 6 months, there's an additional grace period. It's like their buffer.
Correct.
So don't really pay attention to the actual handover date, pay attention to the grace period, right? That's like a good piece of advice.
Indeed, yeah.
Actually be given advice as we review, so that's quite fun.
It's not the norm. You have to sort of like take into consideration that very often a development will actually complete before time. But then there is lots of, you and I both know, just because it's completed, then the work takes place of ticking off by the council, and that is sort of like different areas might take longer than other areas. So that's not really the fault then of the developer, but obviously the developer is going to get the flack.
Absolutely.
It's going to get the flack as a result of that. So yeah,
what do you think about? There's one kind of complaint that they get is communication issues.
That's what I was going to say.
What do you think about
part of that, I think that what's our frustration like at times for certain developers with communication, like, you know, we are asking for information to be given to us, and we might have 10 clients that are reserved in a particular development, and we're trying to get answers. So yeah, it's a common complaint that that we'll get our clients say, you know, I'm looking for accurate information. One person's telling me this and the other person's telling me that. What is the truth? And then again, that's when we very often will have to step in. That's when I think a lawyer really is important.
Yeah, and also like there's normally small details. Like, you know, it's for example, you know, for the developer or the on-site for that development, they'll go, yeah, you know, they want to know, you know, what brand the microwave is. It's not a big deal, so I'll get back to them later. And you know, but for that buyer, it's a big deal because they think, well, if they don't know the microwave brand, what else will they? And they do know that it's just a matter of internal communication.
Exactly.
And that's very typical of Spain, right? They go, it's not that bad. Oh,
yeah.
God. Oh.
Yeah, no, it's true. It's sort of like because again, people are investing a lot of their money into their new home, and so little things like that, little things to a developer is a big thing to our
Absolutely.
To our clients.
I mean, clients want certainty, right?
Definitely. And sort of like leading on to that, we've got the snagging list.
Yeah.
Like, where do we start with the snagging list? Oh my goodness. Again, you can, I don't want to put a bad light on it because it doesn't happen all the time, but...
Well, we're talking about what people complain about, and obviously everything people complain about is always going to be negative, so...
Yeah. Like a client might then take possession of their property, and they'll go onto their terrace and they've got a cracked tile, which is important.
Absolutely right.
And so then they sort of like, you know, they need to then go back. Who do they go to after that? That is, I think, part of the question that we'll have our clients saying to us, you know, I've got this, what is the aftercare from the developer? And as we, again, fully aware, different developers have different aftercare services.
Man, there's some developers that their after sales is incredible.
Yeah.
And then you've got others that, you know, their after sales is not that great and the communication is not that great either.
Exactly.
And that's a recipe for disaster.
Exactly.
You know?
Exactly.
You know something I say to clients like before they buy in a property is like, what do you think of this developer? And sometimes I'll go, let me tell you the positives and the negatives.
Yeah.
So for example, this developer might be a very good builder, but he's a very bad communicator.
Yes.
Or this developer might be, very good when it comes to sort of, communication, but then on the sort of repairing of the snagging, he might be slower.
Exactly.
So it's like ups and downs. I don't think there's any developer, except in the really high end, where you're paying like 20,000 euros square meter. Yeah. The normal bread and butter developers, like there's no one that ticks on all fives.
Exactly.
Right? They all got their faults. Do you think?
Yeah. Oh, definitely. And then you've got the on-site person that is the one, obviously, that is marketing the actual product. Yep. Is a question that I always ask 10 questions to somebody else's one question. And if I'm not happy with the reply I'm getting from the person that's on site, I'll delve a little bit further because my job is to protect my client.
Totally right.
And one important question is, so how long do we have after I take possession of the property? Because very often a client's not actually here when they take possession of the property. So you're talking about the snagging list, and the client might not actually be here. And so then they're saying, well, if I'm not coming until 1 month later after I've taken possession, what do I do? Yeah. And I've had experience if some on site, 2 week period.
Yeah, and they can't really, I mean, there is, for people that might not know what snagging is, let me just mention what snagging is all about. Snagging is the process of doing a list of snags or repairs that the developer might have overseen. So, small, cracks or aesthetics or things like that. And actually, one of the things I'm actually really happy about is, being in business for 12 years now. I really, we know how frustrating snagging is, and that's why, as part of our people that buy new construction with us, we offer that complete, because I just want our clients to land safely. Like it's just like if you haven't got a technical background, how do you know how to do snagging? Exactly, it's better to send someone, spend some money and get someone into it. So that's another pro tip is obviously check your grace period,
Yeah.
but also, you know, use a snagger, right?
Absolutely,
Like a professional snagger, right?
Yeah, because they're going to look at things in a totally different light to you or I, or you know, or even the client, because they, especially certain developer, they might know that they might not be quite as good as this as another one. So yeah, if you have the services of a professional snagging company, then I think that's absolute. It gives you peace of mind.
What else would you say? What's something else that buyers complain about? By the way, there's a lot of things that people are very happy about when they buy property.
No,
we're just talking about the negatives.
Yeah, we're just talking about our life, our day-to-day life that we're here.
Yeah.
Customer service.
Okay, fair enough.
Okay,
yeah,
all
nice.
right, we're talking about developments, but Spain in general for customer service, I think it's pretty, I'm going to say non-existent, but that's a really bad way to say it. But
it's a process, right?
It's a process.
It's a process.
There's a way to know how to approach it.
Yeah.
Approach it with a smile.
Absolutely right, and with patience.
And not to, I think with a smile in Spain and a positive sort of like attitude, you get along a lot further.
Totally agree. And it's just now, like we've covered like the main complaints people have, and that's what it is, the complaints, the negative side.
Yeah.
I have to say that, you know, this is also true not only to Spain, but true to, you know, property markets all over the world.
Yeah.
And it's actually quite related to real estate.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, from 10 clients that buy a property with us, there might be one that complains. So it's just sort of to send the message out there. It's not such a negative things, but we are talking about negative reviews, so we're going to be talking about negative stuff.
Yeah.
So Kim, you're a buyer.
Yeah.
And you know, come through one of these situations, and you got a complaint. What do you do?
Yeah. Obviously, you might want to write a review.
Absolutely.
You might want to go and have a look at the reviews that's already there, because you're frustrated.
Of course you are.
And you want an answer to whatever your problem may be. So.
The interesting thing about reviews and developers, and that's why we're doing these videos, is that we realize that, you know, generally speaking, developers in Spain have terrible reviews. 1 out of every 10 clients could be maybe, except for one of these, like, you know, negative issues. But generally, clients are happy with developers, and I have to say that the reason we did this video is we've had a few times where clients have come up to us before they made a purchase and go, hey, this developer's got like a 4.2 rating, and there's some really bad reviews in there. And we say, but go ahead and do the exercise and go and check all of them.
Exactly.
That's what we've done for our audience today.
Absolutely. And we've come up with a little bit of
a list. We've made a list. This is public information available online. So what we've done is we've put together 10 developers, and we've actually gone online, checked their Google reviews, and here they are. Let's sort of throw them out there and talk about them later. All right? So Abu Homes 4.2, Insur 3.3, Aedas from 3.3 to 4.6, Avante Espacio 3.7, Via Celere 1.9 to 4, TM Group scoring high at 4.6, Taylor Wimpey scoring high at 4, Metro Bacesa at 3.9, Neynor at 3, and Kronos at 3.7. Now, that's a lot of information.
Indeed. I'll just throw it out there, TM. I'm not surprised that they do so well, because I think it's quite a unique company in the respect that they actually keep back one of the units, and it's there for a minimum of 1 year. So if anybody should have any problems, you can just go straight to the actual show apartment, and there'll be somebody there that will actually take care of the aftercare service. So hats off in my book to TM for offering.
I think that's great. I mean, I mean, instead of selling that apartment, because I mean, they could sell it and, you know, make 500,000 from it, then they decide to keep it and to make sure customer support.
But it gives such peace of mind to clients that I've had buying at TM. You just sort of like, they just love that idea that because it might be something silly that will go wrong, and who do you turn to?
The thing is, silly small things can turn into nasty reviews.
Absolutely. So that doesn't surprise me that TM is.
Anyone that surprise you there?
No, not really. I think having the the 1.9, that was, that's a little bit.
1.9 to 4, because the problem is some developers have many different Google business profiles, and they have one Google business profile per development.
Yeah.
So, and it could be that there's just a few, no?
Yeah. Taylor Wimpey again, we all, again, feel it's a really solid
I think so too.
company, product.
For me, that's why I say to my clients all the time, sorry to interrupt you there, Kim, it's when you look at Taylor Wimpey, like you can close your eyes and you basically just look at a floor plan and you know exactly what they're going, like there's no surprises. There are no surprises.
Yeah.
The same goes from, in my opinion, for Kronos, sometimes as well.
Definitely.
There's one, for example, right? There's one there, Naynor.
Yeah.
Naynor scores at a 3.
But Naynor, it has got different levels of...
Exactly. This is my point. So like I've sold in developments, for example, in Artola Homes Phase 2.
Yeah.
And there were a few snags.
Yeah.
But, price value for money, like, it doesn't deserve a 3, In other developments that they've done, that were a bit lower quality, I wouldn't take it away from them,
Yeah. I think that is perhaps going back to... And that's a really interesting point. Going back to these developments, they have different levels. So going back to TM...
You mean different kind of products?
Yeah, TM, Taylor Wimpey, is very much... There's a certain price range and there's a certain level. It doesn't vary that much at all.
Absolutely right.
Whereas Aedas, Kronos, Naynor, they'll have, we say it ourselves to our clients, they'll have different sizing of properties, different fixtures and fittings within there.
Right.
So I think that perhaps if you've got those different levels, that's when you're going to get the mixed reviews.
Yeah, because like, for example, Naynor can build a ultra high-end development in East Marbella, right?
Yeah.
But then go off to Casares, or even further out, to outside Malaga and build a product which is a bit low in quality.
Exactly.
And it's not the same quality, not the same specs.
Exactly.
But again, like I think that not to confuse let's say quality with reviews. Reviews can be for a sort of a massive spectrum of different things, as we mentioned earlier.
Yeah.
But I would like to touch on why do they, like why in other countries, I think like in other places they strive to get, 5s, right?
Yeah.
Why do developers get negative reviews more than other businesses?
I think it's going back to that customer care side of things. It's like Spain, we're so advanced in so many things, but when it comes to things like taking care of the aftercare, it's not so important to them. Like you think, like Aedas, for instance, how many thousands of homes have they actually built?
Just to put it into perspective, these developers build thousands of homes.
Exactly.
Thousands.
Exactly. So if you actually look then how many reviews they're actually getting online, I bet it's minimal.
Well, that's the other thing, is also like developers don't actively search for positive reviews.
Exactly.
So if you don't actually go out there and search for positive reviews, and you only get negative reviews, well, you're always going to be tilted more towards negative.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
Thinking about that, just looking at these numbers now, it's not that bad.
Think
about it, right?
Indeed. But that's why. But again, it's natural that we have our clients out there that rely heavily on reviews. I think we've all done it. When you go to you go to a new country, you go on holiday, you're going to look for the best restaurant, the best beach bar, or whatever. So it's quite natural that our clients do this searching on the reviews. But I think that's where we then step in and just say, I understand what you're saying, but please don't worry, because we're there. I would say we're there to hold your hands.
Yeah, and something as well is like you need to know what you're buying, and you need to know, you need to set expectations right from the beginning. So like, our, rightly said, the agent's job, not ours, because obviously people watching this, we're going to be buying all over Spain. But, if you're buying with an agent, you want to know, you need to ask the following question to the agent. What are they like in after sales? What is the finishings like? And, what's their snagging process like? What's the, during construction communication like,
Yeah.
Something else, one kind of review that some developers get sometimes is quality, right? Mm-hmm. And I think this is quite linked to expectations.
Yeah.
Because clients walk into a show home, amazing furniture, or they'll even buy in the very early stages without a floor plan.
Yeah.
And like they can't interpret the quality specs, they can't interpret the floor plan well, and they can sort of be. So it's really important to do your job well. Like that's why having an agent which can guide you through the process, show you exactly what you're looking at, show you what develop, and then there's no surprises. So when you move into your new property, you'll have right?
Because again, a lot of our clients might not have bought a new property before. Yeah. Now we know that again. I always ask the questions: what lights are included?
Yeah, absolutely. Small things. Yeah,
because
it's true.
You have some properties that you go in and there is no lights whatsoever included. None in the kitchen, none in the bathrooms, or the one we always have a laugh. My clients out there will laugh when I'm going to say this one: shower screens.
Shower screens, yeah. That's an interesting fact. Why don't they include shower screens? I'll tell you why.
And then you get the poor on-site going, well, you might want a certain shower screen that fits this size,
That's not the reality. That's not the reality. The reality is very easy. I'm going to tell you the reality. The reality is you have 200 apartments and each shower screen is 250 euros. Yeah. Okay, let me do this live. Yeah. Hold on. Let's call it 280 euros, the minimum. 280 euros times by 2 shower screens, 2 bathrooms, times by 200 apartments, 112,000 euros. That's what they're saving. That's why they don't include shower screens.
Absolutely. But as I say, some of my lovely clients out there will go, Kim, I know what you're talking about, because we have a laugh and a joke. Yeah. And we sort of like sat there and I look and they go, oh, yes, they do, or no, they don't, because some do. Again, it's, but little things like that, it's reality. Expectation and reality. So true what you're saying there, Kian. Yeah.
I think one of my favorite developers is Aedas, right? Yeah. And Aedas, gets fried there with 3.3 to 4.6. I love Aedas. Aedas has some solid product. Kronos 3.7. Absolutely do not agree with but maybe even for us, we're confusing. It's not really quality. It's overall. It's quality. It's sort of product. It's after sales. It's snagging. It's all these things that make up, right? Yeah. I don't think they really do not reflect reality for me in these developers.
Yeah. So I think the bottom line to what we're sort of like saying in this video is that yes, there are these negative reviews out there, but you sometimes need to delve a little bit further, ask the right questions, and get honest answers, which, if you know us at High Homes, that's what I'd like to pride myself on, the fact that we will always give the truth, which is why we're doing this video in the first place.
No matter if you like it, you don't like it.
Exactly.
Right? That's the way it is.
Yeah. Oh, and sort of like, and also one thing that I sometimes say to our clients, there might be an Aedas development, for instance. Have a look how many resales there are, because if you find that there are very few resales, that to me is saying that you've got happy clients, happy owners that are there. And not only that, if you're at a development, ask around if there's somebody around there. Ask, are you happy with? Because you'll find that the people that are living there already will be wanting to, give their opinion.
Sell or to buy, or to leave or to stay. Rather said.
Exactly. But so I'd take it with a little bit of a pinch of salt. Yeah.
So for the person that's watching us right now, let's give some tips of things that can be done to make sure that they.
Peace of mind.
Yeah, peace of mind. What would they be?
Stay realistic.
Okay.
Manage your expectations.
I think expectations are everything.
Because I think that in the reality, you're going to find you've got a positive outcome from when you actually take over the property.
I'd say another thing is focus on track record.
Yeah.
Rather than reviews.
Definitely.
Right. The proof is in the pudding. And you just touched on that earlier. Like, if you want to do business with a developer, instead of checking, obviously check reviews. Like, it's important to because some reviews will be really useful.
Yeah.
But go ahead and speak to buyers who have bought in those developments. Yeah. Speak to agents that have done let's say sales in these developments, and just base yourself on track record. I mean, if you look at a developer like Aedas, They've built literally maybe 20,000 homes in the last year alone.
Yeah.
That's 20,000 property in 10 years. That's going to be 200,000 properties. So concentrate on track record.
Yeah.
What else would you say, Kim?
I'd lean on expert advice as well.
Totally right.
And again, obviously work with agencies that have experience of working with new developments. And also, that's why I think the lawyer is just so important, because not only that the lawyer also has a relationship with the developer. So it becomes a three-way sort of like conversation, really. And then, so by having people that know what they're doing, have had the experience of working with the Aedas or Nain or Taylor Wimpey, then we can give our clients the peace of mind.
Perfect. That's it.
Oh.
Kim, that's been an awesome conversation. Thanks for coming back on the channel.
Brilliant, brilliant. As you say, it's when you start talking about it, you realise people are buying in a foreign country as a general rule, and I just think that at High Homes we want to make it as easy as possible.
Totally right.
So yeah.
That's a wrap. Well, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. And by the way, if you do have any questions, any comments, or your experience, both positive and negative, with developers, or anything you think we might have missed, please leave those in the comments. We'll love to hear what you guys have to say. And like always, if you guys want to stay posted with videos just like this, content regarding Spanish real estate market, Costa del Sol property, and much, much more, don't be shy and press that button. That's the subscribe button to the High Homes YouTube channel, and we'll keep you guys posted with the best of the best. Until the next time, guys, hasta luego.
Adios.